Hello and welcome to the top 10 most overrated players on everything sports. This is our new channel and we're looking to grow and do giveaways once we get bigger and have subscribers and stuff. But right now we're small and I'll explain more things in a later video. But let's get right into the list. Starting off in number 10, we have Eli Manning. Some people might not be happy with this selection, but I mean, he's a great player. He's an elite QB, although he is like 35. He's just getting older and he's slowing down, kind of like Big Ben. But I decided to put Eli Manning on this list because he never really lived up to be more like his brothers. Well, brother and dad. And I know that might be kind of a weird thing to say, but I just feel he's kind of overrated, so that's why I put him on this list. In number 9, we have Julian Edelman, or Julian Edelman, however you say it. Nobody can say his name. Anyways, the reason why he's overrated is because he plays for the Patriots. And obviously, of course, everyone on the Patriots is good, right? Right? Well, actually, not exactly. Julian Edelman is actually a semi-elite wide receiver. He's good for his size and all, but for the team he plays for and the QB he has, he's a bit overrated. Now, moving on to number 8, we have Joe Flacco. He's another type of controversial one, but he's getting older too. He won those 2 championships, which were pretty clutch against the New England Patriots. But he's getting older and he's not able to put up half those numbers he was in his prime. He's not really able to do as much as he could anymore because, of course, as I just said, age. But he doesn't really have any elite wide receivers anymore, which is kind of making it bad for him. But let's move on. Number 7, we have Darrelle Revis. He's not as good as people say he is. Sure, he's a pretty elite cornerback, but people are saying he's a lot better than he is. And if he was really that good, wouldn't his name be out a lot more to people who even don't pay attention to the NFL? Besides, he plays for the Jets, so that's kind of bad for him. Although, he is doing pretty decent this season. Moving on to number 6, we have Tyrod Taylor. People say he's a pretty good QB. Well, what do I say about that? He sucks. Like, the team he plays for, he's not able to carry them. And even players who played for a really bad team at the time were able to at least somewhat carry their team, like Brock Osweiler. He's carrying his team actually a pretty decent amount because they're over 500. So that's a goal for them. Although I don't really like Brock Osweiler or the Texans, but he's not on this list. Let's move on to number 5. Here at number 5, we have Josh Norman. He's not what he used to be. He actually kind of sucks now. He's not great. Like, he's not elite anymore. If anything, he'd be like a gold in Madden. And I actually play a lot of Madden, as you can see with the gameplay in Madden Mobile. and as I got distracted and got a flag. But anyways, Josh Norman, he's not a great player anymore. He used to be a pretty elite one, but he's completely changed. Like, not completely, but he's not putting up the numbers he used to. And he's just not great, and I don't think he can even keep up with someone like Odell Beckham, which is also a pretty overrated player. But let's move on to number 4. Andy Dalton. He's not a good player. He's not even average in my view. Like, he's not an average player. He's kind of below. He's not that good. And with his elite receiver, AJ Green, who is kind of actually underrated for having a silky quarterback, you would think that he'd be able to put up better numbers and stuff and carry his team to the playoffs more often. Although I do give him credit because in the 2015 season they did have a 13-3 record, I believe, which is actually really nice for them, but that's not what we're here to talk about. He's just a below average player. Like, I feel he should do better. But moving on to number 3. In number 3, we got Randall Cobb. He's regressing. He's not good he's not becoming any better. And I feel he's overrated because people think he is what he isn't, because he's really not as good as people think. People think that he's a really good player. But in my opinion, he's a decently good player. But I'm running out of time. We gotta move on. I don't want to make this video 10 minutes and 34 seconds. So, moving on to number 2. In number 2, we have Julio Jones. Only for the reason, because, he's an elite player, of course. He's the second best in the league, I believe. But he isn't the best. That's a mistake a lot of people make. There's a difference between the second best and one of the best, which I feel that people need to, get better at, because if you're going to say he's the best wide receiver in the NFL, you must be pretty stupid. Big Ben and Matt Ryan are on around the same level, so it's pretty equal there. And with their division, it should be a bit easier. But he's just not producing as much as people say he would. People say he's the best, as I've said 7 different times, but he's really not. But let's move on to number 1. I'm sure you guys were expecting this. Odell Beckham III. He's an elite wide receiver, of course. But he's not a super elite wide receiver. It's debate who's better, OBJ or AJ Green. But Odell Beckham actually has a pretty good QB in Eli Manning, who's still overrated and getting older. And Julio Jones, AJ Green does not have a great one, who's Andy Dalton. I read this book, and it said that Andy Dalton was a superstar. Yeah, second thoughts. Anyways, he's not a great player. He goes for spectacular catches that he only comes down with half of the time. For him being one of the best in the league, shouldn't he be able to go for easier ones to get more yards and get more receptions? Like, if I wanted to commit suicide, I would jump from his ego to his IQ. Yeah. So anyways, guys, that wraps it up. Thank you all for watching, and as you know, well, you probably don't know it, but peace.